Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, from wherever you're watching from and wherever you'll be joining us from later. Welcome to this discussion corner with Favour. My name is Favour. I'm your host on Discussion Corner. Today on the program, first of all, I really want to apologize. We've not been coming live on the program for some time, and that's because we've actually been having like a Zoom session. But we are back, like big time back. Today we are discussing a topic very interesting. If you are a Nigerian, definitely you understand that one of the biggest challenges we face in Nigeria is um, the problem of leadership. One way or the other, we've all been affected either due to bad leadership or anything. So today on the program, we are having someone that is very good in this area to tell us a little bit, or not maybe not a little bit, but more of what leadership is about. And the topic for today is leadership in Nigeria, youth as agents of change. And this person will be coming up few seconds from now to talk to us. So whatever question you have, whatever contributions you have, you can send it via the comment section on the program, or you send directly to me if you were not able to join, because some people usually complain that they are not able to join and then you end up sending me your questions through WhatsApp or what have you. So send your questions through Facebook or through my WhatsApp, and after that then we'll be having this great conversation. We want to get your view on the topic today. The topic is leadership in Nigeria, youth as agents of change. So on this note, I want to welcome our guest speaker for today in person of Mr. Chukwuma Ephraim Okenwa, aka the CEO himself. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us on the program today.
Yeah, thank you so much, Favour, and the leadership of Open Arms. I'm pleased to be here.
Thank you so much. We'll also be having some persons join us on the discussion today. And we're waiting for others, but I can see Mr. Mike Azumoye, he's already behind, so I'll just bring him up. Thank you so much for joining us. A bit of network issues.
Yeah, I'm hearing it.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much for joining us on the program. So first of all, I just want to say a little bit about the program. This program is by Favour's Open Arms Foundation. We started the program because in one way or no matter how in every little way, one of our major objectives is to contribute to nation building through awareness creation, right choices, and call to the nation. So in a very little way, we try to make contributions any way we can. And this mental exposure program is put together to carry everyone along, make you understand different areas of life and how you can move day to day. So on this note, I want to hand over the speaker. First of all, please, can you mute your microphone? Maybe talking, others should mute their microphone. I think that would help with the sound. I think that's better now.
Okay, to mute, right? Okay. So can I? Okay, it's
Yes.
better. Yeah, it's better. Okay, that's fine.
So, on this note, I want to invite our speaker for today to come talk to us in person of Mr. Chukwuma Ephraim Okenwa. Thank you so much, sir. We hand over to
Yeah,
you.
thank you so much, Favour, and all our listeners. And let me also salute my brother, Mike Azumoye. Okay, today, just like our host has made it very clear, that we'll be discussing our leadership. And first, we'll start with who is a leader, reminding ourselves what is even the essence of leadership at the first place. And just like John Maxwell puts it. He said, a leader is someone who knows the way, he shows the way, and of course, leads the way. So when you're a leader, you show people the way. You not only show people the way, you go the way, and then of course, automatically people follow you. That's a leader. And basically, in our own setting in Nigeria, just as identified by the sage himself, Chinua Achebe, who identified that the basic problem of Nigeria is squarely that of leadership. You understand? And it's reflective in every area because leadership is one sector that influences every other sector. And when you come to think about it, the caliber of leaders we have, it's a reflection of the kind of society we have because sometimes it's very difficult, except in very rare cases, to see people rise beyond the values of a certain systems. This set of leaders were actually created by the system. And unfortunately, they even go beyond that of the system to impoverish it further. And I feel like very much disturbed when I look at the leadership in Nigeria because it does appear in most cases through the body language of our leaders that they don't really have interest. They don't really believe that maybe Nigeria is going to be good someday. Just imagine like a situation where someone as a leader who want to have a vision, who want to be taking people to a certain destination, you ask the person, where do you see Nigeria in the next 5 years, in the next 10 years, in the next 20 years, and the person will not be able to answer. And this bad leadership, that we've seen like oftentimes has, it's something that has even the potentials to stop the nations of Africa from being 2030 compliant in terms of the sustainable development goals. Of course, Bill Gates the other day just mentioned that by 2030, it's very clear that African countries will not be compliant with Agenda 2030. Now, away from that, if we will look at the Agenda 2063, which is all about the Africa we want, if you ask an average young person out there, an average Nigerian, an average person, what does this vision of an African we want, what does it really entail? What Africa are we actually looking at? You find out that even the leaders themselves, the youths themselves, the people out there do not really understand that. And when you are not running with a vision, certainly you can't get to any destination. Because leadership, we must understand it, is all about taking people from where they are to where they ought to be, where you can better their lives. But unfortunately, in our own setting, we probably do not even understand that the core essence of leadership is to develop people first. And that is why when you talk about Human Development Index in our own setting, it is lightly esteemed. Let me give an instance using education, which has been touted as the bedrock for national development in our own setting, but in practice, we do not actually align with that. UNESCO recommends that every nation should invest about 26%, you understand, of their budget into education. But over the years, it's been between 4 to 6%. What that actually tells you is that we have less value for human capacity development. And the idea there is that when you do not develop the people and probably just concentrate only on infrastructures, which we don't even see leaders, building infrastructures that are sustainable. Favour, it may surprise you to know that, of course, like in engineers, we tell you that if you want to build roads that will last for 5 years, you just tell your contractor, I need a 5-year road. Roads that will expire when I leave. And that's why we don't see the continuity. There's no roadmap for national development. So even in terms of infrastructure, we can't say that our leaders have built with sustainability in mind. Because we can see some governors that know they will leave office in the next 3 years, and any painting they do on the road will just have 3 years validity to expire once they leave. You understand? So it's shocking. It tells you that these people do not really have sustainability in mind. So when you talk about maybe like Goal 9, you understand, of the UN Sustainable Goal, like industry, infrastructure, and all the rest, you will see that it's very obvious that come 2030, we will still be, shortfall in that regard. Look at like our health sector, you understand? Because when you look at the HDI, you talk about education, talk about health, there's no priority given to it. Such that even the leaders themselves, you understand, any little thing, we had like, now some top government officials that allegedly left the country for some very light health challenges, you understand? Because to them, once they're able to have access to maybe good health out there, their kids are able to have access to good education out there, you understand, in places like United States, in places like UK, and all the rest, and all of the Europe. They see all of those great things desired for their children, but they lack the capacity to replicate same, and even the willingness. Because it's really very obvious that the way our leaders run this country, it does appear that they're envisaging a period where Nigeria will no more be. And that is why I believe that young persons as agents of change, especially the professionals who have got some capacity, need to first of all believe in the idea that Nigeria is redeemable. Because I think the basic thing first is to believe. And that's why a wise man has this to submit. He says that anything that is conceivable, right, believable, is achievable. So these are three levels. First is that we have to conceive it, that there is a possibility. Second, we believe it, we accept it. Our mind should be able to assimilate that a new Nigeria is possible. A new Nigeria can emerge. And then finally, that it is achievable. And then talking about like young people as agents of change, especially of young professionals, you understand, who has got the capacity. And I believe that this change starts with, first of all, initiating the right conversations like Open Arms Foundation is doing now, because everything starts with an idea. Second, you talk about conversations, you understand? With the conversations, we rub minds together. We sharpen our minds together. We're able to develop strategies. Because the simple truth is, one of the things we need to appreciate is that the current day Nigeria that we see today did not happen by accident. The Nigeria that we see today, Nigeria is not the way it is today because probably we are just unfortunate as a people. Some great minds, great evil minds, sat down and created in their mind the kind of Nigeria we have today, and also developed the strategy and began to work it out. Let me give you an instance. In the nation of Nigeria today, where it's almost like good people do not win an election, even love do not win an election, probably you're a popular candidate. And then there are those that own the system. You have the godfathers that will sit down, invest into politics. Politics to them is an investment. And as well as expect return on investment. So they tell you that when you get into there, all of the funding that comes in, right, as long as the fundings are consigned, you must ensure that out of all the funds that come in, 40% go to the stakeholders. Imagine with such kind of conditions given to these political leaders, how will they be able to, with the meager resources available, further dividing it to satisfy the so-called stakeholders? How do you expect them to become excellent performers? It's certainly not going to be possible. And you also see them, the same persons that probably were the godsons of godfathers, who also understand that in Nigeria, the scourge of money politics has destroyed the potentials and the possibilities of enthroning the right kind of leadership. Because you understand, we have the right, like when you talk about the likes of Tinubu, the Jagaban, you understand, with the Bullion van, often Nigerians have signed petitions, but the question is, who is going to cast the first stone? Who will do the needful? We have in a nation Hello? Hello, Favour, can you hear me? Please, can you confirm? Can you still hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, that's fine. So we have that, you understand? So in essence, what I do believe in is that if young persons must lead this change, it will first start with professionals. Now, why do I recommend it start with professionals? First, I know there is no average professional in Nigeria that a political actor can give 5,000 and ask to stand in the sun or probably to snatch ballot box in his favor. No young professional will do that. That's the simple truth. The unfortunate thing is that when they label young people, right? Label young people as maybe like people that are cheap, they also forget the narrative of the very fact that we have several young persons, amazing young persons in Nigeria who are making the nation proud both within and outside of the country. That is the narrative that the political actors will not want. They want to bring out the narrative of those that are not doing us proud as young persons. But I believe the young professionals that have capacity will not fall down for cheap prices of politicians. And that being granted, with the capacity they have and the ideas they have, then I believe that the real change begins at the community level. Because I see that sometimes as young people in Africa, we are really very ambitious, which is very good. But no matter the greatness of the ambitious, your change must be defined. We must be able to look at it from the strategy standpoint at the community level. How many persons have you been able to empower their mind? How many persons have you been able to change their perspective about nation building? How many persons have you been able to inspire, you understand, to believe that they can actually make out something out of their lives? And most importantly, understanding that time is of the essence when you want to initiate a change. It's really rather unfortunate that now election is 2023 away, right? About 2-3 years away, you understand? And then those that are actually leading these conversations are only politicians. Will it be an Igbo president? Will it still go to the north like a northerner recently advocated that it should be an issue of competence, as though competence only lie in one region, you understand? But then, all those persons that before now has been doing voter education and all the rest need to actually even take it more serious, because now that the noise pollution is not there, that is when people will likely listen. That is when the real education can take place. Now we're not going to hear from the National Orientation Agency until maybe a month to the time when people have actually made up their mind that with the caliber of leadership that have the chances of winning, it is clear that things probably may not get better. You understand? And then you begin to see them making the same mistake of voting for the wrong set of people. Now, let me give an instance, a very clear instance of what happened in, 2019, which was a very defining year in Nigeria. Being that shortly after that, we have the not too young to run bill, you understand, signed into law. So there was high hopes of the possibility of a young president. Alas, it didn't work out that way. In politics is either a context of ideas, which is necessitated by platforms like the debate. I was there for the presidential debate. Unfortunately, like we all know, the two major candidates in quote could not stand the context of ideas. Because I'm just imagining maybe you ask a Buhari, what is his economic blueprint to transform Nigeria and to make it a globally competitive economy? I'm wondering what he's going to answer, how he's going to articulate his point. So they respected their old age and ran away from that. Alas, even with the fact that these persons, they contempted the nation, it was like a show of contempt, clear contempt, that the people say, come and present your manifestos, and they were nowhere to be found. But guess what? They were still the major candidates. They were still celebrated. And let me tell you, if all the young persons, the truth of the matter is that if all the young persons that actually believed or followed a Mohalo, followed Fela, voted for them, I am sure that the number of votes they got will not be as pitiable as what we saw. Maybe where you have the likes of Fela getting 20-something thousand votes, Showere 30-something thousand votes, and the likes of Buhari and Atiku is getting like over 10 million votes. You understand? It's really regrettable in a nation that is dominated by young persons. But guess what? If young persons can do it, can make it happen for Big Brother Niger, gather all of the funds that maybe, the companies, the initiators of this project can have even more than enough. The simple truth of the matter is that when we have and I used to tell people, listen, because this is very important. Money controls everything in politics in Nigeria. It's either we believe it or we leave it. Most young persons that knew about Mohalo will tell you, instead of wasting the vote on him, I know he's not going to win. You know the issue. In Nigeria, since there are no ideologies, the simple truth is that there are no strong political foundations in Nigeria. You see people move from APC to PDP and back. We see that happening. Dogara has also moved back to APC. You understand? You know, no ideology. And that also means that when they call for political rallies, you see the same set of people that attended PDP rallies, see them in APC rallies. What is the secret? Assure them that you are going to pay them for their time. Assure them you are going to give them T-shirts. You are going to feed them. You are going to transport them. And they will fill the stadium. And that is the money capacity that the new generation have not got. So when we saw Atiku and Buhari moving from state to state and regions, hosting political rallies, we had the likes of Mohalo, we had the likes of Showere, who are professionals, you understand? You know, they have got the capacity, they have demonstrated that they are patriots. They have not got criminal records. We saw them going about for town hall meetings, meeting 20 people, meeting 30 people, you know, sharing like maybe the kind of stuff that they can afford, maybe share can water and all the rest. But people, as long as politics is, people must perceive you as a strong candidate before they take you as one. So we saw that when the likes of Atiku and Buhari took over the whole mainstream media, you know, after the news on channels, on AIT, on NTA, you see them coming with their advert. You understand? We only saw more of the new generation on social media, which is also good, but not big enough. Because the simple truth is that conventional media still have its own place. If you come out today on CNN, it's not going to be the same way with somebody that maybe come out, maybe like, let's say that the Twitter handle on their own tweeted your face. Coming out on TNN, of course, it's going to give you more of that visibility, more of that personality that you so desire. So these are all of the challenges, but I believe that young persons come 2023 in initiating this change, because democratically there are only two ways to be agents of change. Engage elected officials, right? Engage elected officials. And number two, ensure that you vote in the right candidate. But you know what is the problem and my fear? If out of the options that you have, let's say for the level of the local government chairman, you have 4 options contesting for one particular local government, and the 4 of them have criminal records. When you have 4 criminals, contest certain. So I think young the right kind of candidates. The right kind of candidates at the party level. People must begin to reject those with criminal records. Tell PDP, tell APC, if you feel this person with criminal records, we are not going to vote for you. Because that is where the challenge is. You understand? When you have the wrong options fielded by political parties are the ones that present the options. So when we can't even get the right options at the party level, it means we can't even have the credible candidate to pick from. But I'm looking forward to a situation where we can even be able to engage as citizens at the level of the primaries to tell the parties, if you bring out this person, we are not going to vote for you. You understand? And then number 2, at that same level also, of using the power of the ballot. In Nigeria, citizens are yet to grow to that point of appreciating that if you actually want the issue of governance to be a social contract between the leader and the people that voted him, then the people, to a very great extent, should be able to fund the person's election. Because in retrospect, the person is actually coming to serve the people. So if the person have a campaign account, citizens that believe in the person's manifesto should be able to support the person. But here in Nigeria, you could just hear people saying, you're already going there, you will be our next president, and they are not ready to give their widow mite. How do you think the person will be able to run the campaign? And it's even a well-known fact that campaign adverts are far costlier, right? In fact, in most cases, twice or thrice the value of normal business adverts. And I think it's high time also young professionals begin to speak against this because it's evil. How can you charge companies lesser than somebody that is bringing out himself to serve the public? So these are issues that should begin to matter to us, and we must begin right on time to begin to engage on this issue, whether it be engaging elected officials, you understand, which is very important, or two, educating the citizens ahead of time. Voter education will make more sense if it starts now. And then three, ensuring that the right kind of persons emerges from different political platforms and be ready to mobilize funds for those we believe in. I think with that, we can begin to get the change we deserve as a people. So thank you very much.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you. I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Sir, very much. That was very insightful. In just this of how many minutes talk. Okay. Okay. Back now. So I want to appreciate. Thank you so much. That was very grateful. In the space of 20-25 minutes, you've spoken quite a lot, and I know we have so many things to say from what you've said. Mr. Isaac, you've been from what Mr. Chukwuma has just said. Or anyone at all. Mr. Samson, if you have to say, please let's hear. Mr. Hear me. Hear. Hello. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. So, Mr. Ivan, do you have anything to say? Anyone? Do you have anything to say?
Question or just a contribution to what has been said already.
You can.
Sorry. Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yeah, I said go ahead. Go with your contribution.
Oh, okay. It was a wonderful. I mean, I hope a lot of people are listening. But yes, you've basically touched every challenge we face, most challenges we face politically, and in moving Nigeria forward. And the youth actually do have an impactful and really essential role to play in the nation building of Nigeria and moving Nigeria forward. But the most thing that baffles me is that we fail to understand our value. And when I mean the youth, I don't just I'm not talking about those that are used to rally around during political ambitions and basically the what we call the area boys and the rest. I mean people that are well learned, people that are impacted, myself inclusive. Why did I say myself inclusive? I'm using myself as a case study. So we basically have a lot to play, both in using our ballot and our votes, casting our votes, and in educating the people around us on the importance of getting involved in choosing who our leaders emerge to become, and also assisting and backing up our leaders in their various achievements and struggle to put the nation forward. So we just need to go out there as youth. We need to rally around, go out there, impact people, change people's perspective and perception of the what Nigeria is presently, and what it's going to be like. A lot of people believe that we have our share, we have a share to get, especially in the youth. Like people have been discussing with lately. Anytime I get to have an opportunity to discuss with people on political matters, I discovered there's something common among youths, and it's not so different from what we see in the elder generations. Nations are just like yes, they have a passion for change. Yes, they have an interest to spring for change, but in the end, they are just out after their bellies. That's just it. And I think what our problem is basically education. Basically education. Education is our greatest problem in this country. And we see a situation where we're having educated illiterates, I call them, because we go through schools, we learn basically what we need to learn, and emerge out of schools. We are supposed to be intellectually sound and understand our environment better, and be productive and innovative on how to bring change towards where we find ourselves in. But then you see people that you expect to receive something insightful from, and you're embarrassed at what is coming out from their mouths, and you're embarrassed at the mentality thing, their mental faculty, that the way they think. Sorry, I don't mean to insult anyone. I'm so sorry. So but you're embarrassed at the way youth think, and you're like, these are the people that are meant to be leaders of tomorrow. These are the people that are meant to lead this nation forward. These are the people that are meant to fight for this country and for the productivity of this country. And we still have the mentality that we see up there that we reject. Hello, is everyone following?
So,
Okay, so that's my major challenge. That education, we need to establish our educational system in such a way that we teach and cultivate patriotism in the minds of the little ones. We cultivate patriotism, we cultivate nation building, enlighten them to the key points of the nation, and encourage them to think of how they can impact the nation, what they can do to make the nation bring, go forward, to push the nation forward. And let me use US as an example, because practically that is one of the world power presently. Um, you find people in US, especially children, having passion for their country at a young age. And when you see the US military, for example, you see them going for, they're not fighting in their own nation. They don't have any challenge within their nation. They are sent to Iraq, they are sent to Iran, they're sent to other Arabian countries and countries around the world. But they carry their nation with pride. They are ready to die for the nation. They are ready to make, they feel they're defending the nation. They are doing their best for the nation to move forward, and that's the role they can play. And they carry it with pride. Well, you see, in Nigeria, coming home to Nigeria, you find it difficult to see people that will carry the nation with pride. I'm not saying we shouldn't be bitter at what is going on in the nation presently. Yes, we should. We have a right to. We have a right to be bitter. We have a right to be sad. But how many of us are truly patriotic? That's the question. You might have a vision. You might have an ambition. You might have a good heart towards the nation. But are you patriotic? Because that's what stands out when you get there. Patriotism. When you get there, you put your nation first. You're not putting your political party first. You're not putting your family first. You're not putting wherever you come from, your ethnicity first. You're putting your nation as a whole, and you're making decisions that will affect the nation in unison, and will move the nation forward. So, but we find things like when we get there, when leaders get there to their position, they put their party first. Whatever the party says, that's what happens. They put their families first, they put their ethnicity first, and things like that. And it goes down even to the basic things that we ignore. Let's not look at the presidency. Let's not look at the governorship level. Let's go down to the local government section. Let's go down to the school section. Let's go down to the who runs the federal government schools, who run the political schools. How many people are there? What the percentage of people that are there? Are they did they merit the employment they get? Are they being put there based on connections and all that? These are the things that destroy this nation. We need to have a structure in this nation, and that's one thing we lack. We lack structure. And I believe that when there's a structure, when things work, when I mean a structure, it's things that are put in place for things to work. And everybody's enlightened to the structure. Okay, this is how this goes, and this is what happens. Then this nation will begin to move forward. If there's a structure and there's someone that's so patriotic with a good ambition, with a good vision, with a good heart towards the nation, then we will see things moving forward in Nigeria. So that's just my own contribution. And I really hope that we encourage people around us to not just have a passion and ambition to get to the top, but also a passion to transform the nation with patriotism, putting your country first and not just your ethnicity, not just where you come from.
Thank you so much, so much, so much. Thank you. That was another impactful. Thank you. I'm really grateful. Sam, do you have anything to say before into the questions?
Yes. Um,
All right.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Thank you, Mr. Chukwuma, Ephraim. I apologize for joining the meeting a bit late. I've been on the road since in the morning, and I got the invitation that they were not long ago. The thing is concerning the youth, I say no matter how I have we just stop by, try to just get the event before we proceed, and I'll say, okay, I should just quickly check before we
No
proceed.
problem. Just go ahead and make your contribution before
Thank you,
you leave.
Mr. Chukwuma. From the topic, Nigeria youth as an agent of change. That is very, 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 very critical. I think the issue that we are having, and I'm very pleased to be part of this meeting, because you have the platform already, and it is the message that I have been passing to people, and I found myself privileged to be like this. Nigeria, youth, an agent of change. The issue many people idea about the Nigeria youth, an agent of change. But the point right now is that nobody have actually come out to define the change we are talking about from the perspective of Nigeria youth. From my own belief, I believe what we really need right now as a youth in Nigeria, we need a mentorship. Like the idea of not to rule came before the general election, 2019 general election, and I had a discussion with some of my friends. I actually told them something, and they asked me, why did you say that? I told them that the problem of Nigeria youth now is not all about leadership. That when you talk about leadership, the youth and the old, that we actually take part in the current wars that we are passing through as a nation. That what we need politically, and looking at it from the level of political sociology, what the youth in Nigeria need right now, we need to be desocialized and be resocialized again. What does that actually entail is that no nation politically learn being born with good political value. Nation actually and the people of a nation actually learn political value. Like America, for example, just like Mr. Evans just mentioned that they are the world power and the largest democracy in the world, agreed. But America did not actually for democracy, after their independence in 1717. What America actually opted for was constitutional oligarchy. It is along the way that they found themselves practicing democracy, and they embrace the principle and the tenet of democracy. They are doing it well. And that is where the idea of saying that the youth in Nigeria we need to be desocialized, then be resocialized. When you look at it from down till now, we have actually learned some parochial or bad political culture. And the political culture is deeply rooted in regionalism, politics of ethnicity, and religion. So right now, what the Nigerian youth need first is for us to actually be desocialized from that political norm, which are deeply rooted in ethnicity and religion, before we be able to come out with the change that we are clamoring for now. Because we keep talking about Nigeria youth as an agent of change. What kind of change are we talking about? That is the question that we need to ask ourselves. Everybody talks about change. What kind of changes are we clamoring for? Any change that is not well defined will not take us anywhere as a nation. So what we need first, we need to be desocialized from that idea of parochial political value, which is deeply rooted in ethnicity and religion, or anytime we are being called into power or to come and we all be given or saddled with any responsibility. It's always been deeply rooted in what people get first, not any nationalistic spirit. So first, we need to be desocialized from that political thing. I am getting power, getting power until we have that core value of nationalistic value before we'll be able to change that we can actually make that will make our society a better place. So, sir, what I want you to do with your platform right now, just like Mr. Ephraim said, and you have mentioned it too, we critically need political education, and that education must be deeply rooted in Nigeria and for Nigerians. Because what we have on ground right now is not actually sustainable. And any change that we are calling, we have to be desocialized from that old thinking of I want to get this political power and to make life better for myself and my family and people around me. We will not be able to make the change. So I want you to use this platform to actually give people and the youth especially that political education that it is Nigeria first. Because if our democracy fails, it is the democracy of Africa that fails. And if the democracy of Africa fails, it is we the people of Africa that will suffer for it. Let me give you for instance right now, and I want to tell you that there is not any study in the whole world that are defined.
And you is
Hello? Yes.
Hello? Can you hear me? All right, you just
Yes, I can hear.
just wrap up. We have other people to.
Okay, sir. I just want to put this into record right now that there is no any theory or any study that have defined the relationship between performance and governance. No study have shown that. So I want you, we as we are discussing today, to have it in our mind that it is not because of age that we are not doing it. Whether you give the opportunity and that leadership quality today, they will fail just like they have failed in the past. So what we need right now, to end my point, we still need that core value of political education and to acquire that political norms first before we be able to make change. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Johnson. Thank you. Thank you for that contribution of political education. It's not just about coming out youth as agents of change, but we need to educate them properly, bringing them out leaders. And this is one of the things that Mr. has said to say. Even with the eyes, they're not too young to run. How important were they to youth? And secondly, how are the Nigerian youth become leaders in Nigeria? It's not sometimes we don't have to just make like youths are being given the opportunity to lead. But then we also need to understand that in one way or the other, the youth have shown they are not ready to lead the country. And if we make it like give opportunity to leaders without preparing them, then we'll end up having the same situation. We'll end up being in the same situation that we are in. Now, he was the convener for Youth 2019, and it's on so many platforms, so many stations, TV stations, trying to talk really much about the importance of youth leadership. Not too young to run. He was also advocating a lot of things about it. But then, just like he said, political fathers, so many issues like that, and things have been a problem. But one way or the other, we'll get out of this one. We'll get out of situation. Situation. So I ask, the whole restructuring thing that has been going on for a long time. Mr. Chukwuma, do you think that can change things in Nigeria? Do you think restructuring rules or can become can save the nation? Sorry, sir, we can't hear you. No sound.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
Okay, can you hear me now? Can you? Okay, that's fine. As a nation, the discourse about the restructuring is long overdue. When we talk about restructuring, I missed, because several people have several definitions about restructuring. But I think two have stood out, and is also in tandem with our federal value. If we truly say we have federal system of government, then two things should come to play. Security should be decentralized, as well as resource control should be regional. The center should be weak, whereas the federating units should be very strong. How can a nation want to survive whereas 52% of the resources of that nation is controlled by the center, about 26% controlled by the 36 states, and then just about 20% is controlled by the rural areas? And you and I know that 70% of Nigerians dwell in the rural areas. Because in most cases, when you talk about the capital of any state, that capital is in one local government. And then when you talk about the metropolitan, the urban area, in most cases, it may not be more than 3 local governments. By implication, all other local governments in that state are rural dwellers. Unfortunately, the rural areas, the local government receive the least in terms of this federal government allocation. And it ought not to be so. So there's a need to restructure in that regard, in terms of resource control, and also in terms of security. That should be in tandem with what we believe. If we say the governor is the chief security officer of the state, then he should be able to give instructions, you understand, to the commissioner of police without due recourse to maybe or due ratification from the IGP, which is what we've seen as the standard in our nation. So I believe two things that has dominated that conversation need to be reviewed urgently, and that is security and, of course, resource control.
Security and resource control. Okay, thank you so much, sir. The Sani Emmanuel. Hello. You have something to say. Okay. I will take another question. The issue of godism in Nigerian politics is one of the major problems we have when it comes to a particular position in Nigeria. And just like you said, sometimes to do with how you have run political campaigns and all that, travel the states like the major from the previous election. How do you think that youth can be said, make them stand when it comes to elections in Nigeria? Are there some patterns? Are there ways or any form funds can be raised to enable youths in Nigeria to be pushed forward, at least to stand, if not the same level as the past political leaders, and but at least stand close to them to the extent that they can it seriously. We all know that the whole issue in Nigeria about bad, if for any reason anyone would have thought that the last administration wouldn't come in the last election, but here we are. Even with the number of votes, we can see everything it was some it was really somehow. Now, I don't know if there are ways that support the youth who are coming out to run for political position. Is it go to the extent of sanctioning the INEC national election, or any way at all to make the youth to be recognized when it comes to election?
Okay, of course. Thank you for that question. Thank you for that question. Of course, to do that, the first level of engagement, I feel, is that young persons, young professionals, could first of all insist that political contestants do not exceed the spending limit as recommended by INEC. When you go through the INEC documents that guides elections, right, there is a maximum everyone is supposed to spend, whether you want to run for governorship, whether you want to, because most of the time these guys end up spending 10 times of it. So it's all about the money, and they want to throw about the money. So first thing will be to begin to query these processes. That will be the first. And then number two, crowdfunding is key. But before any young person can bring the 1,000 to support any person that is running for any election, the person first of all need to understand, first, will this set of young persons be able to make the difference as they talk about? Do they have like all it takes to even win the election? I believe that there must be some first set of people that will make some initial investment, make it a potential area that will attract the interest of young people. And what do I mean by that? Just imagine we are trying to like push the issue of young candidacy. I have the money to host young artists. Imagine when we have the likes of Baba, the likes of Don Jazzy, the likes of what's his name, Davido, leading like those conversations. You understand? Maybe they come, sing, perform, attract young persons and say it is now our time. And of course, these young persons will not come and sing for free. So the question is, who will make the initial investment? If there is no person that is ready to like get those persons to become the ones that will lead those campaigns, if the older politicians and the godfathers invite them to come and work for them, they will be tempted to go because certainly they are business people. So I believe, just like in the not too young to run, if you know the level of funding from UKID, from USID that went into some of these projects, you know that you can never fight for any cause without money. Even as social entrepreneurs, as advocates, funding is needed. So I believe we must have like people, you understand, it could be donor agencies getting interested, saying it is time to commit leadership to young persons that are credible. But beyond that,
Young persons must also leverage on crowdfunding because we have the numbers. But of course, before that will happen, some other young professionals must take the responsibility to educate their fellows that this is the right way to go, right? It is not wrong to fund your candidate. It is not wrong to support an initiative that will transform the nation and will deliver the kind of social welfare that the people has been desirous of. So, because for any change to happen, some people
Okay, a little bit of network issues again, but we hope to have Mr. Chukwuma back.
cost any sacrifice anybody might be touting.
Hello.
Please, any kind of change any person is talking about, right? Any kind of change any person is talking about, and you cannot make sacrifice in terms of your time, and your resources. Then, of course, it's not good governance is not priority for you. So young professionals must begin to also experience that level of change first within to prioritize, and that priority is make investment in terms of finance as well as in terms of your time. These two things are very important in terms of delivering the needed change. Otherwise, we should just be the normal sanctimonious approach that some great professors and great minds, learned minds we have in Nigeria, who will speak big grammar, write great books, occupy great columns, but cannot even invest one kobo to deliver that change they are talking about. When you talk about their counterparts, those that are investing to destroy the Nigeria, you discover that the investment they are investing to destroy Nigeria and to keep it perpetually under, these ones are not even ready to invest a widow mite. So how is it going to match? I mean, it's not going to be business. Assuming they are bidding for business and it's for the soul of Nigeria. And these guys that want to destroy the soul of Nigeria is bidding with great funds, bidding with their time, holding night meetings. They want to hold the nation perpetually under. Whereas those that believe they want to transform Nigeria are doing it at their convenience. They are not ready to invest one kobo and they are bidding for the soul of Nigeria. Assuming Nigeria is held by anybody, listening to this group of set of people, who would you give the soul of Nigeria to? Of course, the current reality on ground will tell you in whose hands Nigeria has been, in whose negotiators Nigeria has found their vote. Because listen, anything about change, we must realize to every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. For every people that want to work well for the good of a nation, there is also a force that is working for the bad. But at the end of the day, the highest bidder stands out. The highest bidder wins. And we must realize that. So thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Finally, I want to say something. Maybe any other person can say one or two.
Hello, can you hear me?
Okay, Ima, you're here now.
Yeah, I'm here. And appreciating Mr. Chukwuma for his session. He actually did a very wonderful job. And you for organizing such an event, I really appreciate you for that. This is actually an important topic that all youth needs to speak on. Like we need to have all our hands on deck to see how we can become agent of change in this country. Nobody is proud of how bad the country has gone. Nobody is really proud. Everybody is really complaining. And right now, what we should be talking about is ways on how we can move forward. We should be recommending solutions now rather than blaming people, rather than blaming some sect of persons, or putting the blame on either the leaders or the youth, or because there is no money or any stuff. We should be looking for solutions, what we can actually do to become this change agent. And that's and secondly, I want to like first of all, before I say this, I would like to make a disclaimer. I don't see Big Brother Niger, but however, don't close my ears to gossips and news. So I listen to their information. So if you want to talk about Nigerian election, the voting in Nigeria, don't let us stop this comparison we make with the way youth vote online and the way they come out to vote in the election. I was in the 2000 election, 2019 election that was concluded, and previous ones. I was under the sun throughout. I had so many friends, young persons that were there throughout. And after the whole day, we all understood how the whole thing played out. It wasn't encouraging, and you're comparing it to a show where people, after voting, your vote, the vote you voted, your 30 naira that you are spending, it's being counted. What if the people in charge, the election umpires, if they are to calculate the votes of the youth, if they are to count our vote legitimately, genuinely, do you think it will be the same with what we are witnessing now? And you're comparing it with a show, someone that is making his money and is legitimately counting people's votes. You're comparing it with an election that they put over 1,000 or millions of votes under their coffers, or they bring it without even saying anything. I'm comparing it with that. I seriously get annoyed when people say that, and it's not because I'm defending the show or something, but I just feel, don't compare it. Do you know how many votes that are being swept under the carpet in those offices there, and you're comparing it with this other one? So it's not just. And for the issue in the 2019 election, there was something they were supposed to have where the youth could have a consensus candidate. How did that go? What did the youth do? They scattered the whole thing. Before you know, Sowore came with his own English about how they went back, Obi Ezekwesili and some other persons, and they've already elected their candidate. They were coming out to make show and stuff. And before you know, they bastardized the whole thing, the whole consensus candidate. We couldn't even trust any of them. We couldn't trust any of them. And he said Ahmed Buhari earlier before now came up with young, not too young to rule. We thought this one had prospects, that he had something for the government, that he had something for the youth rather. And we're feeling okay, like our Messiah has come. The bill has been passed. Bukola Saraki was proud about it. It was approved. Ahmed Buhari formed the party, not too young to rule. The whole youth were rallying around him. I was in my final year in school. I had my friends that traveled down from school in Kogi State to Abuja every weekend for meetings. Not too young to rule, not too young to rule. And what did Ahmed Buhari do? He went to PDP and collected chairman of youth and sport. Abi what in PDP. And after some time, he discovered that he was not treated fairly. He ran down to YPP and came back that he wants to contest. What nonsense! Are we fools? And if you say the youth are ignorant, the youth are not too politically educated, the youth are not politically inclined, they are not serious about the politics of the country. That it is not it. The people that are supposed to be leading the youth, what examples are they giving? What examples are we giving out there? It is when we start getting it right within ourselves. When you get there now, would you behave like them, or will you give out its different behavior? When you get there, what kind of character would you exhibit? That's the main issue. We should start by educating ourselves first. Start by educating yourself politically. What will you do? Are you patriotic to your country? If you go outside now and they say one thing or the other, are you sure you will still stand and say something for this country? Are you sure you will still stand as an agent of change? Are you sure you won't stretch your hand, considering the bags of money or the blogs of money they are bringing to you, for you to take some kind of unnecessary actions? Are you sure when you are being posted for election posting, are you sure when they come with their money, they are 60K, and INEC is offering you 40K and 13,000 or 7,000? Are you sure when you get there and a party agent brings out 60,000, will you collect? Will you throw your face away from that? It's when we start taking that decisions, when we start taking that decisions personally on ourselves as youth, that is when we'll start getting it right. So next time, when we finish making all this clamor, when we finish having all this discussion, we will not have something like the passage of the not too young to rule that was bastardized. Thank you very much.
For one of these, people take decisions that might affect others, might affect them in personal ways that we don't know the reason why they take those decisions. So thank you, Emmanuel, so much for your contribution. Like I said earlier, Emmanuel is a global youth ambassador, and he's also an advocate for child education. So finally, Mr. Ephraim, I just want to say you are a social entrepreneur, you are a mentor, you are I don't even know. I don't like you're so many things at the same time. Quickly, I want to ask like with the problems that we have in Nigeria presently of youth in politics leadership. Do you have any plans to mentor young people who want to go into politics? Do you have like a mission or a form of program that youth would undergo before they go out to say, one leaders, I want to contest for any election at all? I can hear you. Hello? Hello? Hello, can you hear me? No, I can hear you.
I think that your voice was bridging when you were speaking. Hello, yeah. I can hear you better now. Your voice was a sort of bridging. Hello? Hello?
Okay.
Hello, hello, can you hear me now? Yes, I can.
Yes, I can.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I was asking. Okay, we already behind schedule. Just Emmanuel read. It's not about coming for abortion blame and then trying to put who is wrong and who, but sometimes we have to forget about who is wrong and who is right, and then for possible ways to make amends and make corrections problems in Nigeria. Today we are talking about leadership in Nigeria, youth as agents of change. And we've discussed aligned the problems. We all know problems. We know what is in Nigeria, but we also need to plan for solutions. How do we bring solution to the problem that is all at hand? No longer trying to list out the problem. We know the problems. Even the children in the womb right now, they know the problems in Nigeria. So on this note, I know to really appreciate Mr. Ephraim. That's the question, but I think network was a bit of problem. So I said you're a mentor. Have any organization you have to mentor people before they go into politics. have anyone like that? Because it's not youth coming out to go into politics, but sometimes they need to be prepared. Many of them in Nigeria to this is the structure, this is the way it is. And if I go into politics, then it should be for them also getting a cut of cake and living. But we stand out to change that mindset. We need to understand that in Nigeria is not what it is. There is to it, but just that we see now is foundation that has been laid. But we need to also down and lay a better foundation for the benefit of our generation and our generation yet on. So on this, thank you so much, Mr. Ephraim. Thank you. God bless you for coming on the show.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
We've aligned the problems in this area, but we need to make plans to get solutions to the problem. So we are today discussing this to bring you back on the show to talk about solutions. I hope you will come on our show again.
Yeah, I'll be glad to do so.
Thank you so much. It was very insightful. I can't say I know that everyone here one or two things to say about the program today. So much. God bless you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
And thank you all for listening and joining.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So I also want to appreciate Samson. Thank you so much. You've been since morning, but you still made time. Thank you so much. God bless you. Ivan, I'm grateful. Thank you for coming. Oh, God bless you so much. Sunny Emmanuel too for joining. Mike Azum, thank you. And for those watching us live from Facebook, Onyebanjo, thank you. You've been seen pointing out where sound isn't good enough and in helping me from this control what is happening for you guys out so much, my darling. Thank you, Mr. Uzoma. Thank you for joining us. On this note, we'll be rounding up now. We've taken 10 minutes time. It was supposed to end at 6, but the program was resting and I didn't want it to end. But yes, it has. Thank you and see you next week Sunday. We'll be coming back again with another interesting topic. You know, on this platform, mental exposure platform, just come here to discuss entertainment. Even though we do, but education, politics, and everything around us as human beings, as Nigerians, and we bring it here on this one. We bring people to discuss the things that you need to know, the areas that you're lacking, and bring the information to you. So on this note, I want you to please like our share our post, and of course follow us. We post updates, news apart from the program. We post news and so many other things on our platform. Thank you so much for joining us today. See you next week with an interesting edition. I am your host, and on this note, I will say bye bye.